Hi everybody, welcome to the video and welcome to the flea market. This flea market video is getting bumped up in my video release rotation. There's something very important that I want to bring up that came up at this flea market, and I want to discuss it and go into a little more in depth as to why it's important and why you may or may not want to make the buy I did. And depending upon where you are in your reselling journey as well too. But let's go ahead and check out the finds here right off the bat. A little portable TV. I'm not going to be looking this one up because it's only $5, and I'm pretty sure I can get more than $5 for this guy. It was very clean. Had the cables for it. The battery compartments look good. This takes a D size, which I don't know. A lot of modern electronics nowadays don't use D-size batteries, but they're still out there. And I definitely like these vintage little TVs. Pretty cool. I have one, a small, like little handheld one, still in my inventory, which sold, canceled. So I'm waiting for it to sell again. I have another larger one, so that one I just haven't even listed it yet. Kind of keeping it around because it's kind of cool. But this one here is a kind of like a this one kind of fits in between the handheld and the other somewhat larger portable one that I have. Even has the original box, so definitely gonna take that box too. Boom, and the padding, and it has the foam to insert as well too. That's all gonna help when it comes to shipping it out. What that means to me is a little bit less packaging on my end. No, I couldn't even squish it back in. I'm just gonna throw it in there. Get in there as best I could and get it in the cart, and let's move on. Yeah, I don't typically. I definitely glance at this vendor stuff. I don't really go through their items here, just because I have not found anything worth reselling on eBay. But I spotted that little TV, and I believe I can get more than $5 for it. So some of these little pencil boxes, there are some older ones that do pretty well. They're older. They're from Sanrio, Hello Kitty. They're from the 80s and 90s. This is a more modern one, but they have all kinds of compartments in there. Usually a little sharpener, pencil sharpener. Just a little pencil box, and holds, like, you know, paper clips and stuff. I remember going to the Sanrio store at our local mall, and I liked it. I really liked those little pencil boxes. It just had so many little gadgets, and you know, you press a button and then the little sharpener would pop out, or you press the button and the little compartment would pop out. I really liked the little compartments and just the little fancy kind of hidden compartments, I should say, the little hidden compartments of the box. I do miss those old, like those old stationery stores. I mean, Sanrio wasn't much of a stationery store, but they did have a lot of stationery product there. Let's try out this cannon bag. I'm debating whether or not should I get it, should I not get it. Prices here are typically tend to be a little bit more at this table, so I'll definitely glance. And a lot of the tables right in the front of the flea market there, right by the front door, tend to be priced a little bit higher because they are right by the front. Not really a door there, it's just a walkway. But yeah, I definitely miss those old stationery stores. I think I mentioned it before, McWarthers. I don't know if anybody's, you know, remembers McWarthers. Drop a comment down below. Let me know if they're anywhere else in the country. I remember them here. There were a couple here in where am I at? San Jose, San Jose, California. But I liked going to those stationery stores when I was younger. And I'm gonna go ahead and scan here. So on this day that I went, I definitely wanted to do a little bit more, you know, hitting different vendors, just checking out the tables, see what's there. I had actually been to the flea market the day before, And I kind of hit the, you know, the vendors that I know have good stuff and that I definitely buy from all the time. That video will come out a little bit after this one, but I did get some good stuff at the flea market the day before. So today I'm just going to kind of scan, go through all the different vendors and see what they got. Try to go through most of the vendors, I should say. So nothing really too good here. I have pulled some great vintage electronics, like new in the box stuff. Not a Palm Pilot, but HP did something very similar to a Palm Pilot. And there was one here brand new in the box. I found it and ended up selling it for, I think, $160. Also picked up a vintage, what is it? Vintage graphics card. I think if I remember correctly, it was a 68. Oh, what was it? I want to say a 6800 GT, NVIDIA 6800 GT, but I don't know. I think it was an NVIDIA 6800 GS card, and that one ended up. I couldn't really tell if it was new or not new. It was definitely open in the box, and it had an old style connector. And at the time when I found it, I didn't have any way to test it. But I did end up selling it for our $220 on that one, and it turned out it works. So that was a pretty good pickup. I mean, if you guys are into computer components, some of the vintage graphics cards do really well. I think of the vintage era, the 6800 GT from NVIDIA does go for pretty good money. But a lot of people, you know, that are into some of their older games, they don't play well on modern hardware. You gotta build you know, you gotta have a vintage computer. I know I've run into issues with some of the modern computers and games not working on multi-core processors, and I don't think it's the GPU that's running into problems with. I think it's more the multi-core processors. But enough talk about computers. And speaking of it's funny, I totally forgot about this. Speaking of NVIDIA, this little bag here, little duffel bag, NVIDIA. I mean, I definitely thought about getting it, but I'm like, what am I going to do with this? I don't know. I mean, as you know, I tend to buy a lot of tech branded items that we find. I mean, I live here in Silicon Valley, so we find a lot of tech stuff. NVIDIA is in it's in Santa Clara, which is like basically, I mean, not too far. It basically is San Jose. I mean, it's within Santa Clara County, but they live in Santa Clara. I mean, their HQ is in Santa Clara, the city. But blink and you drove right by the city. Here's some boxes. Nothing really looked too good. Just kind of like takeout, the restaurant stuff. Definitely nothing I'm interested in. A lot of people over here digging. And generally when there's a lot of activity, it tends to draw my attention. I'm just trying to see what are these people going through, what are they looking at. I'm looking at their carts. I'm like, what are they grabbing in there? What am I missing out on? I think someone was trying to make a deal on all the CDs, and the person really wasn't budging. This guy has a whole bunch of fishing poles. Dang, that's a lot of fishing poles. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen anybody buy that many fishing poles here at the flea market. But here in California, the reservoirs, the lakes, everything is filled. Thanks to the rains we had last year, so I'm pretty sure there's some good fishing out there. I haven't been out fishing in ages. I can't even tell you the last time I actually fished. Probably when I was a kid, or when I was a teen. I guess I still was a kid then. Some newer toy stuff here. They're priced kind of high. They're priced close to retail, so definitely not going to be a buyer here unless I spot anything vintage, anything that might be, you know, price that, you know, that the person, the vendor will definitely have it priced around retail there. But sometimes some items, they do go for more than retail, so be on the lookout. And this is where, you know, having a little bit more advanced knowledge of products and what things sell for really does help. So always check your comps, no matter what, you know, even if you're, you know, extremely knowledgeable about things, things change. You know, suddenly there's spikes in prices, and just, you know, so that way you just keep all that knowledge in the forefront, you know, when you're out there sourcing and all that. Because sometimes you'll run into situations where all of a sudden, you know, I mean, you guys see me at one of the Goodwills where, you know, the service isn't that great, so even when I plug in or connect to the local Wi-Fi, it still isn't that great. So sometimes I'll just rely on my knowledge, and I keep looking at comps. I keep looking stuff up. I'm looking up brands I don't even know. I'm like, all right, is this good or not good? So that way, when I run into situations where I can't look anything up, I will have some sort of memory, some sort of recollection of a potential profitable item. You know, and you also just want to keep up on trends. What are things going for? I remember when we're checking out another little booth over here. This guy's priced pretty high too. I'm gonna pick up a couple of things here. It's a if you see those little plugs, those white boxes with the plugs coming out of them, they're little power line adapters. I need a couple. I think mine that I currently use are going out. I've had them for about 3 or 4 years now. So I think I need to replace some, and these will work perfectly. Yeah, I could probably resell them for pretty good money too as well, but I'm going to actually use those. But you know, right before the pandemic, I had, you know, I was buying old mining rigs. Well, not necessarily old, but mining rigs, Bitcoin mining rigs or cryptocurrency mining rigs. I'd buy them and take the GPUs and put them into gaming computers. So I had a lot of like mining equipment left over from that. You know, the mining motherboards, a lot of the connectors, power supplies, and I'd throw them up on eBay. I just like, all right, we'll just sell them, see if anybody wants them. And as if you guys are familiar with cryptocurrency and the market during the pandemic, things really spiked. Everyone was trying to mine cryptocurrency, and the prices were going up. And that hardware suddenly just started flying off my shelves. And I wasn't really paying attention to the cryptocurrency market at that time. If I had been, I might have priced them up a little bit and made a little bit extra money on those, but I didn't, and they ended up selling, but still made money on all that. So definitely want to keep an eye on what's trending, keep an eye on comps, so that way you know if you're going to make a little bit more money, if you're not going to make that much money. If you're in an area where, you know, internet's bad, you already have some knowledge of different items. Okay. Enough rambling about that subject. That's not the important subject I'm going to talk about later either. Some little tape recorders, but I was thinking about them. I'm going to ask them about these spurs I have in my hand. And so we got a couple of Sony ones, but you know, this guy is the guy that sells here. You know, he prices high, so I won't be able to make too much. And the only reason why I bought those power adapters is because I was going to use them. So yeah, I'm definitely not going to be able to buy those. Those spurs only go for $25 to $30. Grab the cart, hit the road. You see me leave my cart behind. Everyone's pretty good here, you know. There's not really any worry about anybody taking stuff. I mean, it happens, yes, but it can happen everywhere. But typically, it's pretty good, and everybody kind of, you know, watches out for carts. And I remember one time somebody had taken something, and everybody was just like, yeah, you're getting all crazy. And so I'm pretty sure if my cart was getting walked away with, or if somebody was taking something out of it, I would be aware of it. But definitely want to keep your cart within, you know, you want to keep an eye on your cart. You don't want to lose profit to a thief. Check out these Lego sets. They're priced way too high. So now we're going to keep moving on down the line. This flea market, you know, at 3 o'clock, everybody has to be out. Because in the evening, it's also, as you can see the big screens, this is also a drive-in theater. So by 3 o'clock, and it's open Wednesday through Sunday. We're getting down to the middle of the flea market here. And I saw some the Lego figures on top of this bin, but the Lego figures necessarily weren't worth too much, but I want to take a look inside. I couldn't really open it. It's kind of transparent, but the color is kind of throwing me off. But I didn't really see much on the inside. Little USB microphone, nothing exciting there. Appears to be all there, but probably it looks just like an Amazon type style, maybe $15. If it was a better brand, I might have picked it up, but it was kind of a generic brand. And this vendor here, I mean, she prices pretty well on all her items. Just nothing really here for me. Kind of funny, I just bought some headphones like this. Those ones were a little too, the ear cups were a little too worn out, destroyed. So I left those behind. But I did pick up some Bose headphones just recently. That style too. Actually, they use a battery, and it is wired, and uses a battery for, I believe, because it has noise cancellation. Lots and lots of tools. I think I'm gonna quickly look up that microphone and just make sure I'm, you know, not passing up anything. And I'm definitely gonna plug in use just because. You know, I don't know if it's used or not used. So I definitely want to look at when I'm at the flea market, unless it's completely sealed, I'm going to look up used on all these items because I don't know. And I don't want to get in a situation where I'm looking up new stuff. And I'm like, oh man, this is going to be a great price, but I'm looking up new. And I get home and I find out, you know, oh, look at that, it's dirty, or you know, this has been used. Then I can't sell it as new. And I've already lost profit. But it is a nice overcast day here at the flea market. I actually had to take a quick little break and run over to the restroom, and I'm coming back. I usually don't come over to this vendor here until I'm walking out or leaving for the day. But check out these little tablets here. Looking too good. I mean, the tablet, there's a bunch of tablets out there. Really have to be something special, like an iPad or something.
How much are the shoes?
Oh, $5 for these. These are Nightmare Before Christmas. That's Sally. For $5, I'm gonna pick it up. Those should go for around $25 to $30 in the condition they're in. They could go for a little bit more if they were in better condition. Plus, it's also Halloween. Plus, it's also Christmas coming up, and Nightmare Before Christmas is Halloween and Christmas. At our home, it's a Halloween movie and a Christmas movie all in one. And if you guys ever go to Disneyland, I'm pretty sure over at Disney World, the Haunted Mansion is transformed into Nightmare Before Christmas for the upcoming holidays. The bread here is really good. The guy there, he has some great bread, and the prices are amazing. It's like 2 loaves, 2 long like French rolls for $5, and freshly made too. Very good. Here we are at another vendor where, again, prices are a bit high, so you gotta be careful. I saw a vintage graphics card. I wasn't 100% sure on the on what graphics card it actually is, but this style, I am familiar with this style of the plastic and the metal and the fan is called the heatsink part of it, which helps keep to keep the chip cool, or by removing heat off the chip and then blowing it out the back of the card. I am familiar with this style and about the year it came out, and it doesn't really go for that much. And this vendor will tend to price things up a little bit. So I'm already like, I'd rather just save my money and see what else is down the road. I might come back, and I do that quite often, where I'll see items, I'm kind of iffy on it, and then I will come back. If I really don't find anything, I'll come back. Alright, so we're at another table here. We checking out some watches. Just thought that was kind of an interesting watch there. Nothing too exciting. A little Christmas holiday bears. I saw a similar watch to this actually earlier in the year, and it was a bunch of Santa Clauses on it, and I'd actually got it for like 50 cents or something. I ended up selling it for, I think, $17 or $18. I think it was right around the whole Christmas in July. Alright, so I'm checking out this guy. He tends to have a lot of tech stuff here, and I'm scoping out. So these are some vintage video cards. And, I was just talking about video cards earlier. Now look at these ones. So these are some vintage video cards, and I was a little bit confused. They're 6200s, NVIDIA 6200s, which is really nothing. I mean, if I was building a vintage rig, I wouldn't even get a 6200. But it's kind of like, they're kind of cool, and I was already thinking in my head they're probably about $25-ish. And he was asking quite a bit, and he said shoot out an offer, and I really didn't feel comfortable sending out an offer because I was gonna say that $5, but I was under the impression that they go for about 25, and so I'm gonna walk away and try to scope things out. But I am gonna look them up. Something was like, just look them up, just see what they are, because he had 2 that were open box and 2 that were completely sealed in the box. And when it comes to computer hardware, especially vintage computer hardware, it's something that I do like to buy and I like to resell. And if I can, I'll buy it. I'm a buyer. I already have too many computers, and so definitely wouldn't be for me. But you know, you just get that little, you know, that thrill of that. What do you call it? I don't know, what do they? What's that phrase? Shop therapy or buying therapy, consumer therapy. I forget what it, you know. You get kind of like that, you know, that little rush when you're out shopping. You're like, oh, look at that! I'm gonna buy that. And that's kind of what I get when I'm finding computer stuff, but I don't normally buy computer stuff that often for myself, just because I have so much of it here, and I'm not really building at the moment, or upgrading or anything, I should say. So I like to buy it. Like, hey, that is really cool. Get the thrill of the purchase, and then bring it to eBay, and you know, who knows? You know, maybe this product isn't even on eBay. Maybe somebody's out there searching for it. They're looking for a good deal. You know, and I'm bringing it to the masses. It's sitting here in San Jose, California, and I'm bringing it to the world. No camera, Sony camera. The battery was kind of a little inflated there. And some of these older, I think that was a 16 megapixel. Some of these older digital cameras do incredibly well. You typically want to stick to the big names, Sony, Canon, even Nikon. I think he was asking $20 or $25 for that, but I just felt without a, you know, because the battery was inflated, no charger, I was gonna have to test it out. I thought it was a bit too much. I was willing to probably go as high as 10, and I didn't really feel like making an offer on it because he probably would have stuck to his guns. So I'm gonna come check this vendor out, which I always check this vendor out. The prices are high here, but he has great items. There is a woman that comes, but on Sunday, and I haven't been down here on a Sunday in a while. But she comes on Sunday, and I mean, her prices are high. And I keep, you know, that's a recurring theme. Prices are high. You know, you'll learn as you start to go to flea markets, Goodwills, everything. Even garage sales, because a lot of people have the same garage sales over and over again. You'll learn like who has high prices, who's willing to make a deal. And if you are, you know, short on time, or if you want to maximize your time where you're going, it's important to learn, like, okay, I can go here, 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 and this, I know I'm going to get a good deal here. I know I'm going to get a deal. I'm not going to get a good deal here, so I'll probably bypass that one and go this over here. For me, the time just isn't really a factor, because everything here is just so close to me. So I don't really factor in the time. Or, you know, time is money. I really don't factor it in because everything is so close to me. But I like to stop at this table. He has cool stuff, and sometimes I can find something that's worth putting up on eBay. Lots of toys, lots of stuff here. You know, another thing is too, it's not, you know, just because, you know, prices are high, you can't buy. That's, you know, there's no reason to. I see some people get angry and you know, constantly try to go back and forth over the price, and you know, if that's what they're going to sell it for, that's what they're going to sell it for. I mean, they're also trying to make a living out here. And not everybody's willing to bargain, so it's just the way it is. But I will typically try to buy if I can. But I'm going to be looking up those graphics cards, and I'm definitely going to go end up picking those up because it appears, well, I shouldn't say it appears, it is. They are going for between $60 to $100. So I'm going to pick up the new ones. And then there were a few other graphics cards there that he had that he ended up giving me a deal on. So I'll show you guys in the recap what I got exactly. But as you can see, the sun is breaking out. And scoping out this, some glass here, some amber colored glass. And this guy, I mean, he has great prices here. I mean, if I could find more stuff that would be worth it to resell, I would be buying here all the time because he has prices to move. As a matter of fact, I think I just before I turned the video back on, I had just picked up a like a Garmin little GPS screen with charger. Had the charger, had the plug-in, the wall charger, had the car charger, everything in it. Looked very clean, no issues with the screen. So I think he was like $2 or $3. So like, yeah, definitely. I had actually thought I was at the aisle where Lupe is, but I wasn't. I was like, oh. Well, I was coming down this way. I was like, oh, I thought Lupe was here. And then at first I was thinking she wasn't here, but then she was on the opposite side. But not much there. So... But sometimes that happens, you know. Sometimes, you know, the same vendors you go to, they might not, you know, they might not have stuff for you. And so you still got to go scan around, check out everybody else, see what everybody else has. There's plenty of people here at this flea market. And, you know, I've seen on YouTube other people going to flea markets. And, you know, there was always a good amount of vendors at the flea markets that I watch online. I don't know about everybody's local flea market situation, but... if there's a flea market in your area or you want to drive to one, definitely check it out. So, at first I thought it was a Barney, but it's not a Barney. It's like a singing, dancing frogs. I think it's vintage. I do look it up later, but it turns out not to be really worth it. I forgot I had my water bottle in my cart, and I was like, oh man, I'm getting thirsty. But, yeah, we moved to that other aisle pretty quickly. You know, Lupa didn't have too much, so... like, alright, well, we'll scope out what else we have here. It's another guy? I'm just not, So this is where I am gonna go back and make a big, you know, somewhat big purchase here. As you can see, we have a bunch of AirPods, and this is what I'm going to be talking about in a little bit later here. But you know, the trouble, one of the issues I was having was, are they legit? And all the like the writing on the inside all look different for the different AirPods that I was looking at. So I'm gonna buy a couple off of him. I'm definitely gonna buy a couple off him at what he's asking, which is he was asking $10 for each one. So I'm gonna buy a couple of them, and then I'm gonna go back towards. At first I was like, all right, I'm good. Let's go and head on out. But I stopped towards the front, and I will go ahead and look them up, and they're legit. So I'm like, what? So I'm going to go back, and I'm going to purchase the rest of them, and we'll go over more details right now. Okay, everybody, welcome to the recap here. And like I said in the previous video earlier, we're going to talk about a very important topic here, something you should be on the lookout for. And it may, you know, change some of your buying habits, or you may not purchase something based on what I'm about to tell you right now. But first, let's just go over these items really quickly, and I got some stuff off camera, which I thought the camera was on, but it really wasn't on. So I did pick up a couple of things, but you saw the TV here. And sold comps aren't crazy. Like, it's like 25, maybe 30 bucks if it works okay. But it's very clean. I think I could probably get 30, maybe 40 for it. I only paid $5 for it. It is a crazy ship, though. I mean, not that crazy, but it is big. But it has all the packaging material in it already. The original packaging material, which is good. Because I know it should get there safe to its destination. Then what I picked up off camera was this bag, a laptop bag. And not just any laptop bag, but this is a Toomey bag. So I ended up getting this bag and a couple other things. And I believe it was $30. There is some condition issues though. Look at the strap there. The back of this thing, I don't know what's going on here, but it's separating or something, bubbling, I'm not sure. So there is some condition issues. If it was in great condition, probably anywhere between, you know, $80 to $120 for this guy. But I'm thinking I'll probably get about 60 bucks for it. So it is a Toomey bag. You know, and Toomey is a strong name in the travel bag, business bag category. So definitely look out for it. And I got a great deal on this bag. So, but at the same vendor, I also got, and people really like, if you do sell anything cast iron, people really like cast iron. You'll get a lot of views too. So I got these cast iron like skeleton keys. As you can see, they kind of have, you know, some lettering, H-E-M, and a heart key there. They're really heavy, so these are probably about 3 pounds right here. And I'm not sure about the comps, just because it's not like a name or anything like that. But if you look up cast iron skeleton keys, I'm guessing right about 40 bucks for these keys here. So maybe more. I'll have to do a little bit more research on these. But that was a pretty good buy too. And I got this along with the Toomey bag. And I also grabbed a little coin purse right here. Just a plain little black leather coin purse. But it is a... is this Madewell? Yeah, Madewell. It's a Madewell coin. So definitely a good brand to look out for, Madewell. If you do clothes, you know, you definitely want to look out for Madewell. It will sell for a bit more of a premium. But I found a little coin purse, which should do really well. And it's quick. It's easy to ship, easy to store. Look how light that is. It's a piece of cake. Less than 8 ounces. Then you saw me pick these guys up. Powerline adapters. These are for my own personal use. I think mine might be dying, so I needed a couple of these. And these are 18. There are these. These are 1800 megabits per second. Now, it doesn't 1800 megabits. It's the number's not necessarily meaningless, but it's not going to get nowhere near that. So, but it is pretty good, and definitely want to get the higher the number, the better, in my opinion. Whether you're going to hit that number or not, you know, you won't. You won't hit that number. But either way, it's a good pickup. You saw the Nightmare Before Christmas. This is Sally. These are some Vans, and these should hopefully go. I got these for $5, so they should go for right around $30. So I'm gonna hurry up and get these out the door quickly because Halloween is here. Then I got the Garmin. This is the Garmin. I think I talked about it, but I didn't show it. Has all the charging cords in here, but there it is right there. Nice clean screen. There's the model on the box here. And this should be a nice, easy, quick sale. Probably $25. I only paid, I think it was like $3 for it. So 3 into 25 isn't bad. And this thing I could probably just throw inside a padded poly bag, and that'll be a nice, easy ship. Then I picked up Disneyland. This is the Electrical Parade. Kind of got that like baby Mickey baby character look to it, but it's still sealed. It's just like a little journal. And it's the Electrical Parade, which is an iconic parade at Disneyland. Don't know if they do it at Disney World, but I know they do it at Disneyland. But a very iconic parade. And I got this book. I think I got it for like $1 or $2. I'm not sure how much, but it was very inexpensive. Video cards. You know I like to buy computer components, especially video cards. Now, these are the Matronics video cards. They go into PCI slots. So a little bit unusual. I mean, Typically, graphics cards have their own dedicated spot. They don't usually go into PCI slots. And so I got 4 of these ones. 2 of them are completely sealed, and 2 of them are used. The sealed ones will probably be about $50 each. The comps weren't really giving me the whole picture, but I think they should go for about $50. And these are older, so the more vintage-esque computer parts. I don't think technically they're considered vintage, but they are. I mean, they're old. But there's still use cases for them. And one of the things that I tell people about used computer parts is sometimes there's businesses that still run on old technology. I mean, they're not up to date with the latest, and greatest. So when something breaks down, they just want to get it back up and running to keep their business going. So sometimes some of this old hardware can be considered, while it's considered vintage and obsolete, somebody out there might need it, and they will pay up for it to keep business moving. These ones here, and these are Matronics ones, so there's 4 of those there. These ones here were the ones I was talking about in the video, the 6200. And again, I think the reason why they're going for between $60 to $100 is because they're PCI, and typically it's not a connector you would plug in a GPU to. So I don't know. I mean, I don't have a use case for it, but I'm guessing if you needed more outputs, it has some older style connections on there for outputting video. So maybe if you need multiple monitor support or anything back in the day, I don't really know what you would need it for nowadays, but they're still selling. There's a sales history on these, and it's a video card and it's a computer component, which that's what I like to deal in. So I bought 2 of those, $20 each. So I probably should have bought the used ones from him as well too, but I was kind of unsure. I was unsure because it's 6200. I'm like, 6200? What's 6200 for? Okay, so that was everything, right? Yeah, that's everything that I picked up there. Okay, so on to the topic for today, and what I picked up last. You saw that little bin of right here. Here's all in the bag here. Look at that, just full of AirPods. Obviously, they're dirty, and need to be cleaned. And these are these ones here. I actually discovered these ones here all still have the original the original plastic wrapped around them. So, and I've been testing them and checking out their serial numbers, and everything looks legit. And they appear to all be working, so they just need a good cleaning. I got through a few of them already, so I got to get through more. Just finished testing them out. Even if they don't necessarily all work, I mean, just in these ones here, I'm already at a little over $300 in sales. So we're talking about like close to $200 in profit, maybe in these right here. And then the other ones, here's the. So they had some of the pro versions in there, but the pros were like, I don't know, they were in like a crazy state of dirty. There was only like 1 pro case in there. 1 case was smashed. This is I'm not sure if it's an AirPod 2 or 1, first generation or second generation, but that one's smashed. That's probably going to be no good because even the earbuds are smashed on the inside. But you can sell the earbuds as well too, because people do look for replacement earbuds. So, what we're looking at, it was complete working, about $30 to $35 each on these. And as well as these, if they're complete working, $30 to $35 each on these. So pretty good score overall. Now, what I wanted to address was, I'm not going to be putting these all up at once. So the temptation is, you find a big score, a good score like this, Apple products, Apple AirPods. And the first thing I want to do, I want to get home, I want to get these listed. I want to get them tested, I want to get them cleaned, I want to get them up on eBay and get them all listed. In my opinion, that's the wrong thing to do. And the main reason why is if you have a product with a name like Apple or a name like Nike, just a big name product that's really popular, by putting like 50, 60, 70 out there onto the market, onto eBay, you open yourself up to potential review And by review, I mean eBay review. Or even so, Apple can, who knows, Apple can be looking. They could be aware of what's going on eBay's platform. And you may get flagged. You may get questions. Just like going to the flea market and you see a bunch of brand new stuff on a table. You go see all this brand new stuff. I've been to garage sales where it was like I walked into Costco. It's crazy. And of course, the first thought that pops in your head is, where do they get all this stuff? Second thought is probably, dang, they probably stole all this stuff. So, same is true for listing stuff online, like on eBay. If you suddenly come into like I did, 50 AirPods. Obviously, I have the video showing where I actually got them from, but that may not even matter. If I were to put this on there, it might send a signal. It might flag the account or something, or trip something. I don't know exactly. I don't know how things work. But I've seen it happen to people before, where they'll be, oh man, I got a big old score on this product. It's a popular name. They start, I'm going to be making some good money on this. They start selling them. They get them all out there. All of a sudden, eBay's asking there's a review on your account. All of a sudden, they're holding your funds. And they're like, can you prove to us where you got these from? Show us your purchase history. Because also, too, like, if I start listing like all 50 all at once, it makes it look like I'm kind of like an authorized dealer. And I'm not. I'm not an authorized dealer of these products. So I'm just a reseller. I'm pick up what I find and I post it up on eBay. So be very cautious. I know the temptation is there to jump right into something like this. Now, the other problem too is if you're a beginner and you suddenly come into a big score and then you're just going to start pushing this out there, that looks even more suspicious because you don't have a track record of selling this. I at least have, a few sales under my belt of AirPods. Nothing to this magnitude, but so my recommendations here, you find a big score like this, don't rush to list it. I mean, you could list it and probably be perfectly fine and have no problems at all. But I've seen cases where your account gets flagged. I don't know about other platforms. I just know about eBay and, well, I just don't know about eBay. But this channel is primarily geared towards eBay, and that's what we want to talk about here. But I've seen people's accounts get flagged. I've seen people's accounts get suspended. I've seen people's accounts get held. And, if you're doing this as a, part-time income, as a full-time income, that could really hurt you because, who knows how long that, they could say like 1 to 2, 3 days, but it could be reality. It's their ballpark. They can hold your funds or suspend your account forever, how long they want. They can completely ban you from eBay if they really wanted to, with there's no pleading your case at all. It's just done. So ultimately, I spent about $140 in all these. So I'm probably going to make somewhere close to about $1,000 after it's all said and done. And then take away fees and all that. So yeah, it'll be a little bit less than $1,000. So not a bad haul. But if I was a brand new seller, if I have no history of selling any of this, I might not be picking these up, or I might pick up a few, maybe get the guy's number and be like, hey, I'm going to sell a few, and then can I call you back and maybe purchase some more from you? However, but then again, because I bought them in bulk, I got such a great deal. I got them all for like less than $3, $2.90 something cents a piece. So we're making good profit on each sale is going to be a great profit. Not only that, but because it's an Apple product, because it's an AirPods, it's going to be a hot item. They sell relatively quickly. Every time I post just the charging case, it sells quickly. So what I'm probably going to do is do what I do with Legos. I'm going to post up a few and sell through those, wait maybe about a week or two, or if sales are a bit slow, then I'll post a couple more just to get things going. And that's going to be my strategy with something like this. Now, it's kind of different from, a toy. Well, I'm just comparing my, what I've sold in the past between toy hauls, because I've done large toy buyouts. And normally the toys that I find, they are brand new. I try to buy them brand new if I could. And usually they're Star Wars related or Star Trek related, Marvel. But they're all older toys, and they're, over a decade old, are all the buyouts I've done of toys. I bought some newer stuff, but the past I bought large buyouts of older toys from the 90s and early 2000s. But the difference is each toy is unique, and each character is unique in those. And if they're like 10 years old, 20 years old, that's not really going to trigger anything. But when you have a product, a hot product, a big name product, something that's out there, something that's selling, like, I'm pretty sure Apple is towards the top of the list of companies that's being sold on eBay, company products that are being sold on eBay. And Apple products sell quickly. That's why I bought it, because I know Apple products are great, and I know Apple products sell quickly. So I don't want to run into any trouble with eBay and have them flagging my account, questioning where I got them from, anything like that. I just want to be able to sell them, and I have no problem selling them slowly. Now, if you cannot afford to put in that $140 initial investment and spread it out over a few months, then don't do it. Don't jump into this kind of thing, because you don't want to ruin your account. You don't want to have any issues with eBay. Because once, I don't know, I always get the feeling that once you're flagged, you're kind of like, under someone's eye. It's probably not the case, but just be cautious out there in what you're buying, especially when you're buying big lots like this. 50 is not even really a big lot, but because I've seen bigger lots, and I know a lot of people that have gotten big scores. They've had issues with eBay. I know some of them, when they do get big scores, they go straight to the flea market, start selling it off, because they know they'll make their money back pretty much, no questions asked. There's not really much oversight on that stuff. But be cautious out there, guys. Make sure you're watching what you're listing. Watch out for Vero items. Go online, because that leads into also Veros and possible counterfeit items that could get taken down, that could get your account flagged or even suspended. So look on YouTube, just look up Veros and do your research on what you can and cannot sell. Be cautious when you do large bulk buys of hot items like Apple, those are the two that just come to my head, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot more. Like Nike, like Apple, or if you start selling high-end stuff, if I go into video cards, if I get some of the latest video cards, if I suddenly come into a bunch of 4080s, like 20, 30, 40, 4080s, that could also get my account flagged, because those ones go for, I'm not sure what they go for right now, but probably around $800. So all of a sudden you have no history of selling items that are $800, and you're start throwing up a bunch of them on eBay. That's going to raise some eyebrows, and so they're going to start to question it, and they're you better have a sales receipt, you better be an authorized reseller or something. But if you're going to the flea market or garage sales, there's not much documentation there. So please be cautious. Just something to keep your eye out for, something to just something to be thinking about when you're out there sourcing items. Doesn't come, if you're going garage sales and flea markets and Goodwills, these kinds of things don't really come up that often. But I do, hear about, I speak to a lot of flea market vendors, and they do a lot of, storage locker buyouts, and they'll find just huge lots of the same stuff, because someone probably shut down a store, or someone was a reseller, or someone was just had an online store and they just shut it down. They just kept it all in storage, and they lose it, and then all that stuff gets purchased by somebody, and then they bring it all to the flea market usually. So that was the topic I wanted to discuss. Very important. to keep your account safe. And this is something that could potentially affect your account. It could affect the money you make. It could affect, what you bring in for your household. So be cautious with any large buys of big name products, fast moving products, high end, expensive products. So just be cautious out there, and don't get so... Yeah, it's exciting to find a big score, but don't get so excited that you're just blind to everything else and you just start listing. Also, make sure you test your items. Make sure you clean them up. Cleaning them up, it will get you, the most, most money for it. Make sure they work. It's going to get you the most money for it as well, too. So that's what I'm going to be working on, all these. I'm going to put them away, kind of like a little savings account, and slowly drop them on eBay over time. Just keep my store going. That's all we're trying to do here, is just make sales. Let me know. Drop comments down below. Let me know what you guys think about the topic. Let me know what you guys think about the items I bought today. Would you have purchased all this for $140? All the items I bought. Look at all those, man. It's a bunch of AirPods. You know what? I wanted a pair of iPods too, but I didn't want to pay for them, really. So I did. I have a pair in my bag right now. I don't like the all the way in my ear type of earbuds, like from Samsung and the other ones, because when I'm walking or running, I kind of hear the and that's kind of annoying. So I tend to wear overhead overhead headphones a lot. I have some Microsoft ones that I really like, but sometimes I just want to plug in one earbud and that's it, and I don't want to have anything in my ear, all the way in my ear. When I'm out there walking around, I just want something just to listen to a podcast or anything. Running out of breath. But pretty soon, I got my death pile almost all done. So we'll be filming upstairs soon. I'll do a little review of my storage area, and maybe you guys want to model anything over that. My new shipping area is all ready to go. I'm going to be dropping some videos. I'm going to do that on another channel, though. Because I'm going to do some shipping stuff on another channel. I'll let you guys know about that. So this area right here is no longer a shipping area anymore. This is primarily just a photo station now. So I got photos. I got my shipping station over there, which I just finished setting up today. I was already usable. I just had to add some lighting to the area, which I did that. Storage area the floor in the storage area is almost completely clean. So I do look forward to, sharing that with you guys as well, and hopefully help everybody on their journey. I know it looks like eBay is starting to work out whatever issues that are going on that people are experiencing, and hopefully we can all get on this, reseller train and, make a living with it. It's nice not to have to punch in a 9-to-5 job. But I'll catch you guys in the next video. I appreciate all these subscribers. I appreciate a thumbs up. Any comments, questions, please, put them down there below. My Instagram will be linked down below, so you can also DM me there if you have any questions or concerns or, help with eBay. Otherwise, thank you guys.